Hi, my name is Caroline Gwaltney, and today I will be presenting the Chicago Bulls franchise to you. For the ownership and evaluation, the team today is valued at $5 billion, and the ownership model is multiple owners, also known as a private investor model. The primary owner is Jerry Reinsdorf, and he has an estimated stake of 19%. For our financial breakdown, as I had stated in the previous slide, the current team value is at $5 billion. Jerry Reinsdorf led his private group in purchasing the Bulls in 1985 for $9.2 million, just 1 year after drafting Michael Jordan. And fun fact, the percent increase from 1985 to current day on the Bulls value is 54,247.8%. The graph in front of you is a graph that depicts our player expenses over the last 10 years, just to give you a payroll overview of how we compensate our players here at the Chicago Bulls franchise. So on our x-axis, we have our years from 2015 being represented by the number 1 all the way down to 2024 being represented by the number 10 at the end. And then the y-axis is in millions, or money, which is in millions. So as you can see, 2015 we had 87 million, and we have slowly gone up to now 171 million in player expenses. Here we have our key contracts and salaries. The Bulls have 12 contracts and a few two-way contracts. But here I have the top 10 paid players on the Chicago Bulls this past season. As you can see on the left, you can see the 2024-2025 salaries of the top 10 paid players on the Bulls this past season. And as you go to the right, you can see their upcoming salaries for the next few seasons. The zeros represent the expiring contracts, which we will talk about for more as we get to the next few slides. Here we have the tax and cap penalties. As you can see at the top, the total tax allocations and the active tax are estimated at $134 million, which is at the 28th out of 30 NBA teams. And the tax space for the Chicago Bulls is sitting at $53 million. The team is well below the luxury tax threshold, which is putting us in a very comfortable financial position. To the right, you can see how the luxury tax is affecting our players and how their salaries are being taxed. As you can see, this is of the new 2025-2026 roster. You can tell that Lonzo Ball has fallen due to his jump from 21 million to 10 million this upcoming season. And there has been no major luxury tax penalties that apply. For a summary of our roster strategy, we have strengths and weaknesses. For our strengths, we have the mix of veterans and newer players that gives the franchise an opportunity to try and rebuild, and a flexibility with finances, as I previously mentioned. And for weaknesses, we have lots of contracts set to expire, which could also give room for a lot of opportunity, and a lack of defensive players. On to our stadium and financing. The home of the Chicago Bulls is the United Center, and it opened in 1994 with a seating capacity of 20,917 seats. The average ticket price to a Chicago Bulls game is $110, and the cost to build the building was $175 million. And that $175 million was fully privately funded by a consortium of banks led by Fuji Bank. A consortium just means a group of banks that came together to finance this building. And the United Center is also shared with the Chicago Blackhawks, an NHL team. For our facility and revenue sources, on the left we have our concessions that we provide at United Center, provided by the United Center website that gives a full list of all the concessions provided. And then we have on our right our suites and amenities that include the FanDuel Lounge, Rocky's Bar, the Lexus Club level, and more. For our sponsorship and naming rights, on the left we have a diagram that includes all of our major sponsors. Some are Lexus, FanDuel, United, Coca-Cola, and Gatorade. On the right, I have some primary naming rights examples of how we represent our sponsors in United Center and represent the sponsors of Chicago Bulls. The stadium is named after United, as it is called the United Center. We have the FanDuel Lounge, Pepsi Grab and Go Station, Lexus Club Level, and Michelob Ultra Club. The Chicago Bulls have a media deal with the Chicago Sports Network. This was a new media deal that has come in the last few years. We previously were partnered with NBC Sports Chicago. The financial terms of this deal, however, are not public knowledge, so this is just the primary media deal with the Chicago Bulls. For our future outlook, some points I wanted to highlight were Zach LaVine becoming an addition this as recent as February, the career second half performance of this year for Kobe White, the development of Giddey and Buzelis, and the franchise's financial stability, and finally our first round pick that we have secured for the next 7 years. Finally, I want to have a final SWOT analysis on the Chicago Bulls franchise for you. So for our strengths, I have listed the flexible financial status, some of our players, and the LaVine trade back in February. Weaknesses being our need for defensive players, some tightening of money despite our financial status, opportunities including our first round draft picks and 6 second round draft picks, and finally some of our threats being our contracts expiring. That is all, and here is my bibliography. Thank you.